Hey guys, I wanted to share a story of what just happened this evening that kind of goes hand in hand with one of my blog posts that I put up several months ago on reasons that I believe every single female should go out solo. And to add to that, I don't think even you need to be single to go out solo. I think you should just go out solo as a female every now and then. Take yourself out, treat yourself to dinner, treat yourself to drinks, treat yourself to time to yourself. And I'm a huge proponent of that because I think there's a lot of benefits to doing so. In addition to just spending time with yourself and giving yourself time to think and reflect and to do whatever it is that interests you, go to the restaurant you want, go to a movie that you really want, go do an activity that you really want, whatever it is, you are doing you. And so I'm a huge advocate for that. And so tonight, it's a Saturday night, and I had no plans. My friends are working, so they couldn't hang out. I told myself this afternoon, I was like, you know what? I'm not going to make dinner. I'm going to go out to eat. I'm going to have a drink. I'm going to hang out at the bar. If I talk to someone, I talk to someone. If I don't, I don't. Whatever. But I'm going to go out. I'm not going to be lame on a Saturday night and sit in my apartment. Like, I need to leave. So, the building that I live in is a high rise, and there's a restaurant bar that opened in my building, I think last August or October or something, like last fall. And I went there when it first opened, and we're a little. So, my downtown area is very touristy, and so the areas or the restaurants that get the most traffic are in those touristy areas. And I'm like a few streets over, and so it's kind of a developing area. Not as very many tourists come, but there is a lot of local residents. And so it was great that this bar opened because I was like, awesome, like there's somewhere local I can go. It's in my building. I literally have to go downstairs and around the corner, and it's right there. And so I went there initially when it first opened, and the food was great, the drinks were great, but it was kind of empty. And it made me really happy these past few weeks. I noticed that every time I looked inside, the crowd had picked up. And so more and more people, I think, were going there more regularly. And so I told myself tonight, I didn't have any desire to dress up. I just wanted to stay casual. I wanted a burger, some fries, and a beer. And so I decided I was just going to go to that restaurant. And for me, also the motivation in my mind was to, support local. And so I went there for dinner. And it's a bit of a sports bar, so I was sitting at the bar having my beer, um, watching whatever basketball game was on TV. I don't even follow sports. Eating, looking around. There were several people in the bar. I was texting some friends. I was reading some articles on my phone, like doing my thing. After or while I was eating, actually, an elderly gentleman sat down, just two seats down from me, and I was at the end of the bar. So as the bar curved, he was sitting at that chair at the very end, and clearly he had been there before. He knew the bartender by name, like they were obviously friends. And so I'm whatever. I'm in my own world. I'm doing my thing. And so at one point, I'm done eating. I was just texting some friends, and I look up and I realize that that gentleman, two of the bartenders, and I think one of the cooks had come out from the kitchen because they were all friends and they were taking shots. And so the bartender afterwards realized I was watching or like had seen them, and he was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry, I didn't include you. Like whatever. Like I'm an ass. I didn't ask the lady. Whatever." Like he was just kind of joking around, and I was like, "Don't worry about it. It's fine." And he was like, "If I had offered it to you, would you have taken it?" And I was like, "Yeah, probably." Like I was kind of joking. Well, like next thing I know, he's pouring me a double shot, and the gentleman at the end of the bar was like, "Put it on my tab." And so, of course, then I end up talking to this older gentleman, and this is like a totally non-creepy thing. Um, it was very just like cordial, very respectful, very friendly, and it was great. We had this conversation. Turns out he's a developer, and he's been living in this city that I live in now for many, many years. And he helped build and used to own a lot of the buildings in this city. That's how like well off he is and well to do, and like how experienced he is. And it was so cool talking to him because earlier today I was actually out condo hunting just because I'm kind of in the market looking around. And I went to a particular neighborhood that I actually really like, very artsy. It's actually very well developed already. And I think a lot of people my age live there, like young professionals. And so I was interested in that area. And so I was asking him all these things about what his favorite area was, like what he would recommend. And it's so funny because as a developer, it's so great because he could live anywhere. He's doing so well. But he lives in my building and he chooses to do that because he's still working as a developer and living in my area now that's currently being developed. There's high rises going up everywhere. The scene is changing, new restaurants are opening, things like that. So for him, he was like, I like to be in a place where I can get feedback from people. This is a developing area. I want to know what it is that people want because I'm still working. That's what I'm doing. And I want to know what it is that, like, what kind of feedback that I can get to where I can put that into my new buildings that I'm building. So it was really cool. It was really cool talking to him, getting his perspective, hearing his stories. And obviously he's so well off. He's like, oh, I own a yacht. I just sold it. I'm buying another one. I'm just like, okay. Like, you live in a different universe, but it was so interesting to talk to him. And on top of that, I got a free drink out of it. So how awesome is that? But yeah, I just wanted to share the story because this is why I think it's so important to take yourself out, to take yourself out and to treat yourself because it's scary going solo. It can be very uncomfortable. You can kind of sometimes feel like people are judging you, but they aren't. Nobody cared that I was by myself. No one said anything to me. In fact, I think what happened is it opened doors to people approaching me and introducing themselves to me. I'm now on a first name basis with that bartender, and I'm on a first name basis with this guy who lives in my building. And so it actually opened the door for me to like be in those conversations and get to know people. And I mean, what better scenario could you imagine for going out by yourself? And I think the more you do that, the more comfortable you get in your own skin, and the more likely you are to meet really cool people, meet people in your neighborhood, be on a first name basis with a bartender, be friends. I remember when I lived in New York, there was one of the restaurants that I went to that my friend took me to a few times. We went there so often that the bartender recognized us and always gave us free drinks. And I'm not saying this that you should do this kind of thing just for the alcohol, but it's the camaraderie and the friendships and like the recognition. It feels good. It's like I'm a part of this neighborhood. These are my people. I belong here. I live here. It makes you feel like you're involved, and I don't know. And then, like obviously for friends with the bartender, they give back in their own way, which is free drinks. But it's fun and it's someone to talk to. It's something to do. And you never know like where it can take you from there. So anyway, I just wanted to share my story. I would love to hear from you guys if you have similar stories. And if you're interested in reading my blog post, you can just head over to my blog, BeThree.com. And then it's under blog and life. And the name of the actual post is why I think every female should go out solo on a regular basis. Anyway, I hope you guys are having a fun Saturday night. Stay safe, have fun, and I look forward to hearing from you.